Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Lewis from Recycle Bicycle Sales, and today we're going to talk about some of the best upgrades that you can do for your mountain bike. The first upgrade that I think every mountain biker needs to consider is a dropper seat post. I'm going to show you how they work here. You'd remember back in the day when you're out bike riding with your friends and you get to the bottom of a steep hill and you have to reach down, adjust the lever, and then lift the seat back up and then close the lever. You don't have to do that anymore. There's a little button here. If we press this button here and we put our body weight on the seat post, it will push down until we let go of that lever there and it will stay down. This is perfect for when we're doing jumps and all this sort of bumpy stuff going back down the hill. And then when we come to the bottom and we need to start riding back up, we can press the button and it raises the seat post there for us right to the perfect height that we need when we're pedaling. This is good because it means that we can now have the perfect efficient pedal stroke rather than pedaling along like this. We can pedal at the right height that we want to be at. It also means that we can put the seat post down out of the way so that when we're doing jumps and our body is moving all around here and our butt doesn't want to bump into the saddle or anything like that, we can just push it down and out of the way. These can be a really cost-effective upgrade as they don't have to be ridiculously expensive. You can upgrade to a dropper post from about $200. The second upgrade that I strongly recommend is upgrading to Tubeless Tires. I'm sure we've all had the story where we're riding along, we're having an excellent bike ride, and then all of a sudden, flat tire. You have to pull over, you have to take the wheel off, you have to find where the hole is, you have to fix it, you have to spend all this time on the side of the trail, not actually riding your bike. So, upgrading to tubeless will hopefully fix that while we're riding. To have tubeless, you need to have correct tubeless ready tires. You need the valves, the rim tape, and the sealant. I think we've done a video before talking more in depth about it, but that gives you a very quick summary of it. Making sure that you have sealant in there that can clog up the hole from the inside so that as the wheel's spinning, it will seal itself while you're riding. Tubeless ready tires can be bought from about $60 each. That's why I say that it is the most cost-effective upgrade that you can do to upgrade your entire mountain bike riding experience. Depending on the age of your bike, this next upgrade might already be on your bike. The upgrade that I'm talking about here is moving across to either a 1x drivetrain or by having a clutch derailleur on the back. When I say 1x, I mean it's one chainring at the front by however many on the back, 1x. Your bike, if it's a little bit older, perhaps it's got smaller wheels and all this sort of stuff, it might have either 2 chainrings on the front or even perhaps 3. So a 2x or a 3x. Upgrading to a single chainring will mean that we can now have a stiffer rear derailleur, which means that the chain will have less slack in it, less bounce in it. As you're going over all those bumps, the chain is less likely to fall off. I strongly recommend upgrading to a 1x system, especially if you can get a clutch rear derailleur as well. So when we're talking about what the clutch is, on this Shimano rear derailleur here, there's a little lever here that will say on and off. We can have it so that it's nice and loose, which is helpful if you wanted to take the wheel out because now there's not too much tension on the chain. Whereas as we're riding, we might turn it to being on, and then it means that this rear derailleur won't come down as much, which means that the chain is quite a lot stiffer, which means that it's less likely to fall off when it's loose. It's like, look at that, comes almost all the way off at the front. The fourth upgrade that we recommend is the wheels. The wheels can be the rim, the spokes, and the hub. The wheels are what take the brunt of most of the sort of the impacts that are coming from the floor. So as you're riding over bumpy terrain or doing big jumps, they're what take the impact when you hit the ground. So having a nice strong wheel will absolutely help performance of the bike. We can look at going up to a carbon fiber rim or perhaps even just a stronger aluminium rim. There's lots of different upgrades you can do with your wheels, but they're probably one of the biggest performance upgrades you can make on your bicycle. The fifth upgrade that we recommend is things to do with the cockpit. We're talking about maybe moving to a carbon fiber handlebar or even perhaps more comfortable grips. Now, although the suspension takes the really big hits, the small vibrations that come through the bike, you'll still feel them through the handlebar and the grips. Moving from an aluminium to a carbon fiber handlebar, carbon is designed to flex and absorb little vibrations. Honestly, probably not enough to see with your eye, but enough for you to feel it, even just through your wrists as well. So upgrading to a carbon fiber handlebar and nice grippy grips will help make the whole riding experience even more enjoyable. Upgrading these two parts here, a carbon fiber handlebar, you'd want to budget for at least probably $200, and the hand grips, I'd say from at least $40 upwards. Now, I know that we said we'd only do 5, but I've got too many ideas floating around in my head, so I'm gonna give you a final one, which could be upgrading your pedals. You might move across to clip-in pedals. Maybe you're really in love with the brand Crank Brothers or Shimano or something like this. Upgrading to clip-in pedals or even more sort of stronger, stiffer flat pedals might be a nice little upgrade that you might appreciate. They're also one of your contact points with the bike, so I put them in a similar category to what the hand grips were as well. Okay, sorry, I've got too many ideas. Final one is upgrading your brakes. You could move across to having a larger brake rotor, or perhaps even going from having a 2-piston brake caliper to a 4-piston brake caliper. It'll mean that you have a more powerful brake, so your braking distance can be a little bit later into that corner, or you could just brake harder when you need to. It'll just make the whole bike feel even more powerful, and it means you can go faster. Okay, sorry, but I promise final one is one that we often overlook as mountain bikers. We take our bike in for servicing and this and that, but we always seem to forget about the pivot bearings. In all of these different moving spots here, there's actually a bearing that allows all those parts to bend. They can wear out. So it's important to replace those pivot bearings, and I promise to you, it will make your bike feel like brand new the first day that you picked it up as well. It's one that we often overlook. Okay, final one would be suspension. Upgrading the suspension will change everything about the bike. The reason that I haven't spoke about suspension earlier in this video is it can be quite a costly upgrade. So it's one that you might want to sit down and do some really good research into. This particular example here has like the fanciest suspension you can get. To be fair, it's a pretty top end bike. Instead of upgrading the suspension, if you happen to be a large frame size, this Giant Rain might be a pretty wicked upgrade. Moving across the whole bike, you might even find yourself upgrading to a dual suspension bike from a hardtail that you might already be on. This is an amazing beginner's bike if you are rich. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've learned a couple of little ideas that you could do to upgrade things on your mountain bike. We spoke about so many different parts: contact points with the ground, contact points with your hands, with your feet. We spoke about making it like stronger gears or more powerful brakes. We ran through so many different ideas. I'm sure there's something in there that you might like to upgrade. If you think that there's something that we might have missed that somebody else might like to do, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm gonna say thanks for watching and we'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.